the County Assembly. It is clear what has been presented before you is a mutation of the case that was presented before the County Assembly. The case has morphed. And we look no further than the submissions by my colleague for the County Assembly, where he is now calling this Honorable House to impeach the Deputy Governor on the basis of alleged infanticide. These were not charges that were before the County Assembly. This was not even evidence adduced by Dennis Misati before the County Assembly. The issue of a miscarriage was never an issue raised anywhere before they came to this Honorable House. The morphing of this case is further evident from Lucy Waheto, their star witness. Before the County Assembly and before the 8th of March, her evidence was this money was received erroneously, we assume, from the Deputy Governor. They had a telephone conversation, and the Deputy Governor said nothing. He kept quiet. However, for reasons unknown, and that can only be inferred by this Honorable House, following the impeachment proceedings, she has now changed her statement, imputed some malice to that money. A simple error in sending M-Pesa has taken new life. We leave it to the House to infer the reasons for the change of heart. We also note that the case before you has morphed with regards to that most critical of issues. Who solicited this bribe? If you look at the motion as moved before the County Assembly, the case of Dennis Misati, of the MCA Siochi, the Honorable Siochi, was that the DG learned of the job, went to Joseph Misati, and solicited the 800 Kenya shillings bribe to get him that job. That case has morphed before this House, as considered by my colleagues in their submissions. They now indicate that Joseph was the one who told the DG about this opening. The morphing of the case is further evident from the videos that were presented before this court. The issues of bursaries and bribes that are linked to those bursaries. This was never before the County Assembly. This has been raised for the first time before this Honorable House. And the sum total of the foregoing is that for this House to uphold that hallowed maxim that justice must not only be done, but be seen to be done, we need to disregard the morphed case that is presented before you. And in so doing, you need to make an inference that there's a motive to the mutation. Following from this issue, there are some procedural lapses that were part of the proceedings before the County Assembly. You've been asked to turn a blind eye to these procedural issues, but we humbly submit to this Honorable House that substantive justice requires procedural certainty. The Deputy Governor had no procedural certainty in the process that was undertaken at the County Assembly, and this started on the 13th of February 2024 when a notice of a motion that was not supported by the evidence, was not supported by signatures, was moved and subsequently passed by the County Assembly. A clear nullity ab initio was allowed to move to the stage of a motion. And from that, on the 21st of February, the motion that has led us to this hallowed house was moved and duly seconded. And as would be expected, this motion should have been put to the County Assembly to debate and make their determination. However, this is not what occurred. A motion to adjourn the proceedings was duly moved, not seconded, and I wish to underline that motion was never seconded. But this notwithstanding, the motion was in unclear circumstances that one cannot decipher from the Hansard, determined, and an adjournment duly issued. This adjournment, I wish the court to note, was contrary to the standing orders of that particular county government, which requires the motion to be moved and determined within 3 days. By the 24th of February 2024, that motion, having not by automatic operation of the law, we submit that from the 24th moving forward, there was nothing. The motion and everything that was voted upon on the 29th of February 2024 was nothingness. And from that, this Honorable House has been called to determine whether there's a valid impeachment. And we duly submit, given these grave lapses, that the motion and the impeachment as a whole was a house built on quicksand, foundationless, and this court must, as the big bad wolf did, blow that house down. Most obliged. I will now call my senior, Mr. Katwa Kigen, to conclude the submissions.